はい。では、のゲームが、デスズドア。で、こちらも解説の方いらっしゃいませんので、有識者の方がいましたらコメントとお願いします。なんかちょっと離れている間に、テトリス・ザ・グランドマターがとんでもないことになってますね。ゲーセン味方の今日の配信でビッグプラス 20G でクリアの人がいらっしゃったと。これはすごいですね。デスドアは確か海外のリアルタイムアタックのイベントのどこかでリアルタイムでちょっとは見れたんですけど、どういうゲームの内容だか忘れてしまいました。だからタイトルだけ知っています。で、こちらが Any NMG ノーメジャーグリッチとのことで、ゲームの進行を大きく崩すようなバグは使用されないと予想されます。バグは使用されないとは言っていないっていうタイプのグリッチですね。で、こちら、ビットが2つ設定されております。はい、まず1つ目。ディフィートファイナルボス、With アンブレラ。これは達成されれば、傘を武器にしてラスボスを倒すそうです。このゲーム、傘を武器にできるのですね。で、2つ目のビットが、言語を何にするかっていうことです。今見るとドイツ語が優勢ですね。これは最後まで何になるか分かりませんね。Got a $150 donation from a clock champ. It says, "Huge thanks to all the runners for showing off their speediness for the cause." なんかスーパーメトロイドもビット設定されてますね。達成されればオープニングが見れます。なるほど。デスドアはゼルダ調の若干ソウル味があるゲームと、ソウル味があるゲームと思っていただければということですか。なるほど。ちょっとまだあるので、デスドアについて調べますね。これは、We also have a Super Metroid Watch opening cutscene incentive open. You put your money towards that when you donate. You can type exclamation point donate in the chat to donate. We can watch the なるほど。これ見たことあります。どうかのイベントで。カラスですね。で、ちょっと任天堂スイッチのダウンロード版から読み上げようと思います。盗まれたソウルが巻き起こす不思議な物語。死神のカラスとなって巨大な敵に立ち向かえ。またマララさんが。デスドアは荒涼としながらも美しい世界で1羽の死神のカラスとなって冒険するアクションアドベンチャーゲームだ。死神のソウルを刈り取るために出勤するだけの日々は退屈に思えても、カラスにとってはそれが良き仕事となっている。ある時、君が担当しているソウルが何者かに盗まれたことで物語は動き出す。ソウルを取り返すために進むべき領域には天井をはるかに上回る命を持ち、自然の法則すらも超越したモンスターたちが待ち受けている。ゲームの特徴、キレのあるシャープな戦闘、近接武器や弓や魔法を使いこなしてスタイリッシュに戦おう。幻想的な獣と阪神の軍団に立ち向かうには観察力も必要だ。十分な経験を得たらカラスのステータスをカスタマイズしてさらに強力なアビリティやアップグレードを手に入れよう。2つ目が解き明かされる暗き謎。ユニークな生物と無数の謎に満ち溢れた土地を探索しよう。パズルを解き明かせば冒険に役立つものが手に入るはずだ。この領域に居座る特別な理由と物語を持つ強敵たちを追い詰め、独特のダークコメディを味わいながら知られざる真実を見届けようとのことです。有識者の方ありがとうございます。ノーメジャーグリッチでは Any% で息をするように使われているアークやズーミーといったグリッチ、一昔前にスルーだったフェイクスペルなど、そういったグリッチは禁止になっていますと。だから名前を見た感じは本当に悪そうなことができそうなグリッチ名ですね。Take a bold step and bring the change that you want to see. And this is a message for women and everybody else. You can play a significant role in making this world a better place for all. Everybody watching this, thank you so much for your generosity, your support, and I hope we stay in touch. Thank you. ボスを倒す順番は、普段通りとは異なる順番で倒していくと。あら。
I am here.
そうでね、そこら辺はやはりノーメジャーグリッジの醍醐味といったところでしょうかね。
From that word from our charity. I hope everybody is excited for Death's Door, but real quick, let me read a few donations.
私が司会を担当していた時にあったメトロイドドレッドもノーメジャーグリッジなので、悪いことを全くしないとは言っていないということで、まあどんなノーメジャーグリッジが出てくるか楽しみですね。アイテムを先に回収して後からボスだけ倒していくんですね。さてどうなるのでしょう。
That is $137,174. If we meet that, we get a bonus game, Inscription. So everybody keep donating.
なんかラングリッジ、言語チョイスが今日本語が優先になりました。
For Tetris, it says my wife and I have been playing each in Tetris since our second date, and we still play 10 years later. Thanks to everyone for putting on a great event for a great
ボーナスゲーム5もこれ達成されるのか
I
な。
do believe our runner is ready. So whenever you are
読める英語でできるフラグが立ちました。
Hi everyone, I'm Thistle, and I am so excited to be running Death's Door for you today. Critique, do
は
we
い、来ました。デ
have
スドア
a
で
winner
す。
for the bid war for game language?
さあ、最終的な
Yes, of
ラングリッジ
course.
は
It looks like it is
これ日本語っぽいですね。日本語っぽいですね。日本語です。日本。
Thank you for your donations.
Awesome, thank you so much.
読める英語
I
で
think we'll just hop
読める
right
英語
into
で
the
す。
and yeah, once we get started, I'll do a quick intro. I'll intro my couch.
ノーメジャーグリッジを走れば、漏れなく日本1位がもらえるとのことです。
4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
はい、グッドラック
Hi
です。
everyone. Hi again. I'm Thistledew. And this is Death's Door. Any
バスから始まりましたね。スキッピングって表示されてますが。
to defeat the Lord of Doors and reach the end credits. And today I am joined by two
ここら
lovely
辺はチュー
friends.
トリアルステージですに見えますね。
Feel free to say hi.
Hello.
転がりながら移動している。
Good luck, Thistle. Hi, I'm Allison.
Awesome. Yeah, so Death's Door is an
い
isometric
やー
adventure
ここ
game.
いやーこの主人公は転がりながら移動する派なんでしょう
Who we
か。
affectionately call our protagonist. And right now we are showing up to work as a Reaper of Souls, who's just been given our
セー
first
ブしてタイトルに戻りましたね。
which is to go and fight.
場所を
Instead
こっ
of
ちの
going
方
through
が
this
早いの
whole
かな。
area to get to our first fight, we can just shoot that switch through the
ここは
wall.
精霊たちがいるんで
And
すが。
now we reach the demonic forest spirit. I guess
あ
I
ら
can
この森のせいは悪魔化しちゃったんです
game
か。
while I focus on
Yeah, of course.
first
So
fight
right
of the
away,
game.
you'll notice that Thistle is demonstrating the sort of basic attack rotation in Death's
Whoa.
Door. The protagonist comes equipped with a sword, with a couple of different basic attacks, and the main
これはやっつ
alternating
けたのでしょう
pattern,
か。
without any other sort of strategy superseding it is going to be mixing in one heavy
何か弾が出てきま
attack
した
followed by
ね。
two light attacks, which is the fastest possible damage rotation for the most damage.
後ろに何かい
Laggy
ましたね。
animation from finishing a
なんか
light
ソルジャーさんの
combo. But
画面。
just
なんか EV たちが
dealing
可
a ton
愛い
of
です。
damage to the
あーなんか
demonic forest spirit starts
あ
this
あ、この子
cutscene
た
where
ち、
we
プライ
drag
ズにも出
into
てい
the
た子
main
た
plot of the
ち。
game here.
Yep.
失われた
And here
墓
we are
地、
in the
禁
lost
じられた領
cemetery.
域。
This serves as kind of our central hub for the game. We'll get into the story in a little bit, but
なるほど。
this old
ロード
crone
タイムスキッパーが消化の移動はリスタートのが早いんです
an
ね。
errand that takes us to 3 different areas in this game, but they're all connected to this central hub that we have
で
navigated
多分こ
through.
れ移動は前提
Um,
転がりなが
so
ら移動
these-
する
these
の
are
が
doors. They're
早い
essentially
よう
save
だ。
points and checkpoints.
そんな感じで
Once
す
I
ね。
claim one, if I die or save and quit, I will respawn at that door.
なんか飛んでて。墓地だからなんかそれを思わせるようなモンスター多めですね、ここ。
That is the main currency in this game. We'll be using it to get some upgrades throughout this run. And right now, we're kind of just doing a run around. You'll notice these gates that have pink locks on them.
つまりデスズドアは転がるゲーです
Show
ね。
all the enemies in the screen before
通常では最速っていうことは、何かアビリティが強化される
and then
と
we're just gonna
別の移動方法が そっちが最速になったりするんでしょうかね。何らかの条件下では別の移動方法を使えばそっちが最速になるとか。
I'll let y'all talk about it while I start beating up some
おー、なん
enemies.
か
Yeah, so this is the first arena.
敵ラッシュ、敵ラッシュターンが来ました。
And the thing, we have a different scaling for our strength that we're gonna have, and all the grunts, which are a basic enemy found in every biome.
もう
They
一気に
all
突
die
撃
to
して
one
きた。
heavy and then one regular hit with our strength scaling. This arena shows us the first new enemy, which is
的確に倒していってますね。
a headless grunt
ドアから
that
出
actually
てき
sees
てい
us
る
when they
ドア。
turn around, because the backpack has eyes, but they have no head themselves, and it's already done.
なんか主戦が目立っていなくて、でもそれでも綺麗なグラフィックです。
So if you learn the choreography, it'll always be the same output, which is super good and
なん
adds a
か
lot to the
な
skill cap of the area.
なんだこのキャラクターは
Yeah,
ステ
one
ッ
of
ド
the
ホーン
most
ってい
fun
う
things about
方。
this run is the fact that all of the arenas are predetermined. We know
何回か
exactly
攻
where
撃したらなんか
enemies
どいてくれました
respawn.
ね。
And there's some RNG in enemy behavior, but no RNG in terms of what will happen between the waves. So it's
こ
a
の
lot
ゲー
of
ムも
very
奏
cool
者さんが
choreography that I'm
喋りなが
really
ら
excited to
やって
show
いま
off.
す。
Moment ago, we just passed by an NPC named Steadhone, who, for our purposes, is entirely irrelevant to this speedrun. Steadhone serves in the casual playthrough to teach you your different varieties of
何か動かしまして、はしごが出てきました。
slash him out of a roll, and then never shows up again except in cutscenes in any percent, meaning as speedrunners, we will be
Oh.
dutifully ignoring him for the rest of the
盾を持っている敵がいます。
One thing we actually do in a lot of our cutscenes is a text skipper, which will straight up just like make it as fast as a human could possibly mash, because it's a lot of mashing in this
缶
game.
オケは
So
何
we're
で
gonna
しょう
use
ね、
that
キ
in
リ
a
シ
lot
タン
of cutscenes.
キリシタンとか連想させるのでし
So
ょ
we
う
will
か
see very
ね。
little of Steadhone.
墓石の方がメジャーだったりするんでしょうかね。ほら、海外だと十字架はキリスト教を彷彿とさせるから宝石に置き換えられていたりとか、日本と海外の宗教の違い的な。
By charging heavies, there is a 1-2-3 scaling where your light attack does 1 plus whatever your upgrades are. Your heavy attack does 2, and your full charged heavy does 3. So with a full charged heavy deflect, you can actually one-shot a mage like Thistle did there.
おまたここもザコラッシュですね。
Yeah, we'll try to deflect as much as possible to take advantage
で
of
なん
the
か
fact
攻
that
撃
it
する
is
たびに
low
左
damage.
上に白いゲージ、白い鉱石のゲージみたいなのが溜まってきています。
We're making our way over to first, like,
で
difficult
また
boss.
また何か動かして先へ進めるようになりました
We
ね。
just do the same little rotation.
ああ、
just
かわいい、
hit.
かわいいです。
This boss is the first
こう
one
い
that
う
gives
カ
us
ラスが。
a bit of trouble. This is
動くお城みたいなのが出てきました。ボスでしょうか？ボスですね。これはボスですね。あ、
So during this fight, we'll try to kind of
攻
stand
撃し
between
て
the
白いゲージを
flags
貯めて。
and then
で
squeeze
なん
back
か
here.
上、よく見たら装備がありま
So
すね。これ
normally
弓。
during that some wind will push you away from the guardian of the door. By squeezing behind it, we
あ、
prevent
2% では
ourselves
飛ばされる
from
ボス
being
みたい
pushed
です。
away, and we can continue to do damage just like that.
あつまり 2% では何かしら悪いことをしてここを飛ばすということでしょうね。
This is also
ああ、
the wall here
お城
because
型
as
が
the castle collapses,
建物が
it's entirely possible to be pushed off of
崩れまし
the,
た。で、
cliff
先に
there
進め
before
る
the
ように
bridge
なりました。
spawns in. Just a little bit of safety.
上下に動くリフトが出てきました。
Die there before the bridge spawns, you will have to redo the boss fight.
Yep, I have definitely rollen off on 1 health before
これを動か
because
す
that
と、
gate helpfully lowers itself before the
おお、
bridge
マンホール
spawns.
の中に行きましたね。
And then
So
これは私はスーパーマリオサンシャインのマンホールを思い
only
出し
used
ま
this
す。
one time, unfortunately.
yeah, the plunge attack.
Mario
So
Sunshine.
when you're in midair and you hit attack on the crow, it performs a plunge that can take you through the sewers. Fun fact:
なん
entire
か、
casual playthrough did
ああ、
not
なんか
allow
大
you to
き
do
い、
that.
大きい
I
カラ
had
スさ
thought
ん
the
が。
entire time that there would be an ability pickup for that.
Yep, hard same.
扉に何かを。
So this is Great Crow.
Yeah, and this is Death's Door from the hit
ここが
video
どこだ
game
か知っているのか
Death's
っていうのが一瞬読み取れました。
That's what that text
死神の扉
Yeah, so what we're skipping through right now is essentially the Grey Crow giving us the main
ソウルを
motivation
手
for
に
this
入れれ
game.
ばだったらこったら
He has stolen our
ソウルエナジー
demonic forest spirit to try to open Death's Door.
なんか世界観の説明してますね、多分これ。
He's about to send us to
ちょっとした
these
世界観の
three
説明とか
areas
言い
around
伝え
this
みたいな
world
の
to collect 3 more giant souls
テ
to
キス
help
ト
us
が一瞬
open
過
Death's
ぎ
Door.
ましたけれど、なんかそれっぽい説明をして
And the
ました
reason
ね。
for go for it.
I was just going to say, Death's Door is set up in a sort of classical Zelda-like fashion, where the major areas of the game are divided into a sort of introductory dungeon or area that leads to you getting an ability, and then a second, deeper dungeon in each of the major areas that leads to a boss.
あ、敵がいました。
This game is such that we're actually going to do a tour of the map to
で
get
これを移動すると
abilities first. Because the
火
last
み
of
た
the
いなのが
abilities
つきま
is
し
a
た。
very powerful movement ability, and
あ、
so,
火がつきました。
for all
で先に
of the
進めるようになっ
abilities in quick
て。
succession, and then
あ
for
ら、
all of the bosses
鳥かご。
towards the end of the run.
We'll also be doing the bosses in reverse order
なんでしょう、こ
compared
の
to what's intended
床についてい
for
る
a
模様
casual
は。
playthrough. So now we are in the estate of the Urn Witch. This is the first pre-dungeon area, and introduces this puzzle mechanic of dipping our arrows into fire
ここが最初
and
の
using them to
なんて言
light
ってるんでしょうね、
razors
奏者
that
さん
will
は。
unlock gates. Normally, you're expected to kind of
つぼ魔女っていうのがいるみ
but
たいで
we
す。
can actually dip the arrow into the fire pit, light it on fire, and then mostly shoot it diagonally to solve all of these
で
puzzles
なん
fast.
か赤い魂みたいなのを回収して進んでいます。
Heavy advantage of the isometric nature of the game for a lot of small skips, including this
おー
major
とドアが出てきました。このドアは何なんで
This
し
is
ょ
going
う
to get up onto this flower pot and then onto the hedges here
あ
to
お
dodge that NPC.
生垣
whose
の
name
上
is
に乗り
Pothead
ました。
because his head is a pot. We're actually going to be performing it twice.
おっと
once
ここで
to gather
ここでリスタート。
this soul right here, and then a second time to actually progress deeper into a state.
なるほど。これがリスタートすると
Yeah,
こ
this
こ
is
から
one
スター
of
ト
the
できるよう
few
になる
tricks that
と
is like
ね。
really hard to do on
これは戻っ
controller. So we actually have to use mouse and keyboard
え
for this
これは
trick.
多分戻った方がはもう早いのでしょう。
Harder method to play the isometric game. So we actually use controller for almost everything, minus a handful of
このカラス君は死神
and
大
some
工。
specific aiming with the arrows.
だから扉があるんですね。
This is a couple small arenas next to each other. We'll introduce a few of
おー
the
なんか追いかけてくる敵が出てきました。
and the new archer enemy, which will just shoot an arrow just like ours.
なんか遠距離で攻撃してくる敵も出てきましたね。
Yeah, they can be kind of rude sometimes.
Yeah,
だ
right
から
side
死の
of
扉
estate,
です、
always
ドア。
kinda spooky.
Yeah, especially because these enemies will have no limit to how far they can chase you. So Thistle's going to flip this lever, and then the grunts here, as well as that mage, are going to be following us for a little while.
追いかけてくる敵もものともせずに
Actually
進ん
helpful
でいっ
here.
て。
So,
なんか
the
ここ
white
秋っ
ticks
ぽい。
underneath
なんとなく
my
秋っ
elbow on
ぽ
the
い。
top left, those are ticks of mana. Each mana allows me to shoot one
何か
arrow
燃や
right
し
now,
て、
and
なん
in
か
order to
水辺の
replenish
と
my
ころに
mana,
行っ
I
て、
need
あ
to
ら、
get
こっちの方にも敵がワープして
enemies
出てきました
that are chasing
ね。
me, or you'll
魂
notice
を
some
回収し
mushrooms
て
on the ground sometimes, or other breakable objects. So if I do that, that gives me 2 more ticks of mana, and we definitely need to manage our mana here in order to be able to complete these
先
fire
に行ける
puzzles.
ようになりました。
So we
っていう
actually
ところ
need to
で
see
敵
enemies
が
around
敵ら
in
し
a
というわ
lot
け
on
で敵
purpose,
が現れました。
in order to make sure that we never run out and have to go find some mushrooms or other things to hit.
曲が雰囲気よく表していてとっても素敵です。
Super love shooting an arrow at that
なる
explosive
ほど。
pot on the right. So it
死の扉が存在し続けるとカラス君年取っちゃうんですね。
We love
不
seeing
死
that.
性を保たなければならないのは大事です。
Cool. And now we're in the clear. We are essentially going to be running in a straight line now from here to the actual manor of the Urnwitch. Would now be a good time for donations, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
この曲とともに自然を満喫したいですね。
$50 donation from Upper Casserole. It says Crow gamers can't stop raving about the impeccable
年を取らずに生き続けているところはなんか死神っぽいです。
in motion. Best of luck with the wide murder thistle. Hope your run isn't too unpheasant.
お、陶器屋敷ってのが出てきまし
The
た。
forest is calling for some foul feather, so please remember your umbrella
あ、
for
なん
the
か一番最
Lord's
初のところに戻ってきま
door.
したね。
The fire quackers.
このドアを使っていけばいろんなエリアのところは瞬時にワープできる。あ、なんか強くし
Alright,
て
so here we just upgraded our strength to
でリ
strength
スター
2,
トを
which
し
will be
て、
useful for continuing to scale up with the grunts and the
これは
other
便利です
areas
ね。
for a lot of the combat.
パワーア
That
ッ
was
プし
also
て
Darwin,
陶器
our
屋敷に
fun
戻ってき
friend
まし
who
た。
has 4 eyes
ここに
and
壺魔女がいる
fangs
みたいです。
and a monocle. So if you want to do the math about how many eyes
だって
that
この
is,
屋敷内にどんな敵がいるのか。
Too many eyes.
なんか今ドアの柵が降りる前に言っていたのですが。
0.2 damage. So perhaps it's better to think of upgrading our sword's base slight slash damage from 10 to 14 with 2 strength, and then doing some more math with enemy health. Also, right here next to this fire pit, you're going to see this will pick up a seed, which is our healing
多分
system.
何か遠距離で攻撃することによって炎を向こう側に飛ばしてどんどんつけていくような謎解きでしょう
Plant
か。
a seed in a flower pot, which will spawn a healing flower that you can then pick up.
ああ、なるほど、植物の魂。
It is possible to beat the game without picking up a single one. And so there are a couple like that first seed that are very easy
大
on.
ガラスがバブルで代償として3つの不死の魂を回収する羽目になっていると。
Common in games like this is don't get hit.
That should hit. That we call Salem
Yo.
skip.
おお、向こう側まで燃えていきました。
The fire pit puzzle in this room.
今のはちょっとしたテクニックなるでしょうかね。本来はここのさっきのところにある炎をやって移動して出てき
yeah,
た。
that's actually a really cool skip because it gets us
なんか
around,
中ボスみたいなのが出てきました。
use the mouse for a
あ
lineup
あー、
later.
なんか HP が
So for this arena, we're
HP
just
が
playing
2
an enemy
に。
that the community calls Lickitongues and very quickly dispatch that.
ああ、なるほど。
Fighting a few more of them, but
これ
this
は
is the
陶器でで
first
き
one
て
that'll
た
show us
み
how
た
they
いで
work.
すね。
They can be quite annoying.
で、
And so the main mechanic of these
何かに触れて、
one dungeons is in each of them you're going to see this will go to 4 different arenas or obstacles to
何かが起きましたね。でここでワープして移動時間短縮。
which will open the big door in this case at the center of the manor here.
どんな生き物が出てくるか楽しみですね。
Before the ability.
どういう風に考えさせられるかも。
The Crow Soul routing in manor involves the fact
おお、
that
なんかくるくる回って攻撃してくる陶器の敵が。
segment of the manor. So we take the most economical path between all of the
お、
keys.
また鍵が出てきました。炎を使って
And then
4つつ
there
け
is a
て。
safety seed here, which I will grab. And coming up is a mini boss that we call the Watts Pot. This boss is a perfect demonstration.
なんか会話しましたね。なんか会話でなんか襲いかかってきましたね。
Nice.
ああ、どんどん割れていく。
Very clean.
Yeah. At the start of the Curls roll, we do get some
割れちゃいま
iframes.
した。
And so the Waltz Pot that we just fought has a spin attack. If you iframe through it, it gives you
お、ここも炎をつけていくところですね。
short amount of time.
ああ、なんか暗いところで敵が襲いかかってきている。
This is Imp Loft. It's a loft full of imps, and it is
なんだか面白いスタンプが。
in the game. These little baby
ホッ
imps
トフレンド。
can through walls, but you cannot strike them back. And also, it's quite dark. This is a very early run killer. And also,
おお、暗い中、カラスくん進んできています
Only one
ね
hit。will absolutely take that.
あ
And of
あ、
course,
さっきの
the
さっきの
imps
が
can also mess with your auto aim and make it
さっ
take
きのがいました。
actually light up what you need to. So it could be a lot.
これで2つ目です。
Imp Loft might be hated.
And we're about to meet Grandma.
Hi, Grandma.
Have we met Grandma already? Yeah, that was my
Not
first.
2% では、
First time.
So
わあ、
the,
ここスキップされちゃうんです
recurring characters that we
ね。
will see a few times
さ
in
て、
these characters
2% ではどんな悪いことをするのか。ああ、シャンデリアが。
I believe. Will we see her again? And
Not for a while. I don't
あの赤いのはカラスくんの魂。
not until we reach the second part of this dungeon.
ここもピアノの音がとっても素敵なダンジョンです。お、遠距離で攻撃して、なんか出てきました。なんか黄色いのが出てきました。
And normally she will show up to talk to us after we collect each of the crows. But since we save and quit,
なんかまた壺が襲いかかってきそうなところに来ました
at
ね。
least for this part of the run. Okay, Lickitung number 2.
And now
このゲームのサウンドトラックが欲しい。
the fight's the same. They are going to be adding in a couple of grunts for this one. This will be one more that gets even more difficult.
Okay.
But that was dispatched of. Perfect.
おー、早い。撃破が早い。
Yeah, in these fights, we try to focus down the Lickitung first. If I had killed those grunts first and the fight continued to drag on, it would just
という
continue.
わけで3つ目の
respawning grunts.
カラスくんの魂を手に入れまし
So
た。
the ideal is to time the Lickitung defeat.
はい、でここでまたタイトルに戻って時間を短縮します。
And as you've noticed throughout the manner, a lot of the puzzles here involve 4 pots that are themselves the key to a subsequent room. In this room, this is going to go for a strat where we actually lure one of these exploding pots to break one of them for you on your
あ、
way
ま
up,
た黄色いのが。
so that you don't have to go all the way around and do some extra arrow management in order to hit it.
Yep. Auto aim? Nope.
Oh.
Ooh,
There are
auto-aim
two
not kind
pots.
today.
おー、いい感じ、いい感じ。
Sometimes it's a toss-up which one will eat your auto aim. But
先へ進めるようになりました。
bad
As
to
we just saw
back
right
up.
there, there's actually projectiles the enemies can shoot at you. And if you're in the middle of getting a cutscene like a door opening or a gate opening, sometimes the projectiles can continue to hit you from there.
なんか
which
今、
can cause
ちょっとだけショートカットしたように
damage
見え
and
ましたね。
potentially death if we're in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
鍵をゲッ
Yeah,
トして。
enemies all
Those
freeze during
animations.
cutscenes, but nothing, no projectiles.
おー、ここローリングしていくのはちょっと怖い。
Yes.
ちょっとでも角度を間
Skip the
違える
puzzle in
と
this room by
下に落ちちゃってまた
utilizing asymmetric
登り直し
nature
に
of
なっ
this
てしまいそうなところ
game,
でした
rolling。over a
はい、
corner,
というわけでまあいつもの中ボスです
whatever the
ね。
intended route is.
中ボス敵ラッシュ。わあ、ここで遠距離の敵を入れてくるのは意地悪ポイントです。
Okay, I'll just wait for this cycle. Mages are a little annoying because, as you can tell, if you miss
ボスも
damaging
撃破
them,
が早
they
い。
will despawn and you have to wait for them to respawn. So in most of the arenas,
はい、というわけでまあカラス
here
く
on
んの
out,
魂、
if
これ
there
4
are
つ目です
mages, you'll see
ね。
me trying to dispatch them as quickly as possible, so we don't have to wait the extra cycle. Cool, we have our
まあタイトルに戻りますよね。
proposal here. So let's head on over to this big door, and I wonder what waits behind.
Yes, and in just a moment, I'd like to invite
お
everyone
ー、
to pay
4つ揃ったから
very
行けるように
close
なっ
attention to the
たのでしょうか。
protagonist's
で、なんかおばあちゃん
animations.
おばあ
This
ちゃん
is
って言ってましたね
there。will be a quiz on this later. But no, going through this big central door will take you back to the Hall of Doors. But
大きな宝箱がありますね。
Yeah, treasure, treasure, treasure. This is so exciting. Oh,
え
Poor bird.
え
yeah.
わあ、あの宝箱モンスターだったんですか。ここはどこですか。アバリ
It is
ス
yet another combat arena. A
うわあ、
little
敵が
harder,
うわあ、陶器の敵が襲いかかって
a
きまし
little
た。
bit longer than the ones that we've encountered before.
Yes, each avarice has 4 waves to it. You'll tell that a wave is over when one of the braziers in the arena lights up.
松がこのゲームに
It is
ね、
possible to be injured by a brazier if you're standing right next to it as it lights up. But just like
このでっかいエリア名、いかにもこう海外のゲームをローカライズしたらこうなりましたっていう感がありますね。
spawn positions and being ready to kill enemies effectively as they spawn. A little bit of a root grunt.
お、あー、なんか緑の飛び道具が出てきました。
Yeah.
And of course, our friend Lickitung has to come back.
割れる音を心地よさそうですね。
Friends like the pot enemies and the various imps.
Is now a good time for donations?
曲が
Yeah, with the conclusion of
曲
this
がなんか
episode,
今までの静かな曲ではなくて、ちょっとロックギターがかかってきました。
fair number.
ここが いつもの場所とは違う場所だなっていうのがよく表されていますね。というわけで無事に脱出できました。と思ったら、なんか出てきました。
$54 from Trogdor says go, this'll go. It's so
なん
excited
で
to
でしょ
see
う、
you
この
and
カラ
to
ス
meet you,
は。
and so appreciative of the warm and welcoming community you've cultivated. Marathon PB hype. I would also like to let everybody know that we
文
do
字
have that
これが
milestone
もし何か
if we reach
新しい能力を授かりました。何か新しい能
$137,174
力
before the end of the
前
marathon,
々からあっ
you will unlock
た
the
やつ、
bonus
すみません。
game.
ちょっと左上よく見てい
Also
な
have
か
a
ったもので。
Super Metroid Watch opening cutscene incentive.
お、今のは大きいショートカットですね。
You're also donating towards the bonus game. So go ahead,
あ、
keep
でも
donating.
これ使って炎やってるからやっぱり新しい能力なのかな。自分で炎を出せるようになったから弓矢に頼らずともできるようになった。今のはデカデカ王冠でしたね。あ、また墓地に戻ってきました。
So we will be, I think, seeing the final boss with some very satisfying umbrella thwack noises instead of our usual sword.
進んでいってますね。
I love the umbrella noise, so I'm looking forward to that. With our new fireball ability, we are headed to the second area of this game.
ここのエリアは何
And
なの
we'll
で
be
し
taken
ょう。
there by our friend Leg Day here. We always clap for him. He's a very hard worker operating this gondola night and day.
Why do they call him like day?
あ、何かゴンドラ？これすごい手で動いています。
Okay.
No, but taking the gondola to Ruins. Ruins is where the isometric nature of the game works its hardest both for and against us as runners.
開い
The
た。
layout of this area is very easy to get lost in. I know I spent many hours lost here casually, but it also is going to enable some quite entertaining skips taking advantage of some
なん
weird
か森のところに
diagonals
行きました
and
ね。
movement here. Ruins also introduces us to those vines that are automatic elevation, as well as new, stronger, greener grunts. Fortunately, though, because of the strength upgrades that this
お
has
いい感じに森のところに来ましたね。いや、
Yeah,
ここも気になるところですが、ここで私、司会交代となります。
Yep,
い
we
や
are also
有識者の
introduced to
方、
these
ありがとうござい
lovely
ました。
bomb
では、引き
plants.
続き、デス動画をお楽しみください。では、失礼します。
Throw some bombs at your enemies and you, but more importantly, your enemies. I'm gonna kill a few extra enemies here to get to the proper amount of soul we'll need for our next upgrade. Because soul routing, especially for this segment of the run, is incredibly tight. Oh, that's one of the isometric exploits that Quack mentioned earlier. Instead of dealing with the bomb puzzle where we have to open that wall, we just rolled right around it. And here's another one.
This one is a very precise one that can
nice.
first try. Let's go.
Yeah, we roll onto that bomb wall to get over here, which saves us a trip around Mom's camp. We'll see her later anyway, but we call that skip Mom Skip because we don't actually say hi to her until after we've retrieved her horn, which is the item that we are after right now, going through the ruins.
Yes, for those of you playing
ジ
along,
ャパニーズリストリームをご覧の皆様、こんばんは。
low-key skippable, grandma, nefarious,
聞こえておりますでしょうか？
evil, unavoidable. Hope this helps.
ありがとうございます。こんばんは。
So yeah, this is another little arena just with some fire plants.
ここからの司会進行は横水が担当させていただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。
One heavy, one normal hit to get the grunts. And
さて、カラスくんが頑張って旅をしているということで、
I'll kill this grunt. We have a fun
ちょっ
trick
と
to show later on,
私、このゲーム存じ上げないんですが、
It is amusing. It does lose a soul, and I want to make sure I have enough buffer
なん
soul.
か死神のカラスくんが
Show that off.
The
冒険をするゲームということだけは確認して、今ここに来ています。
Very storied The route that this is going to be running is going to be
今
getting us
3
to the
分の
final
1
strength
ほどが
upgrade
終わっ
with
た
maximum
という
damage
感じ
sword
ですか
can do,
ね
but。there have been now 2 competing versions
まあ
of different
EST
soul routing and a
ぴったしに
different
終わるとは
lesser strength
限りません
upgrades.
が、
The community is very active and very invested in going fast as we get here to my favorite arena in the game, the Bomb Flower Arena, because you can outsource the work to these lovely plants. That was really smooth.
Yes. I will forget the fact that I had to kill one grunt with my sword. It's a very fun game to see if you can get all of the you can outsource the work completely to those bomb plants in the arena. That's also my favorite arena in the entire game. It's so fun. So we just retrieved the horn that we mentioned before, and here's the Forest Mother.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. She plays this lovely tune.
Lovely to get your saxophones, get your jam emotes, get your banger emotes, get all of your musical energy for some smooth jazz in the forest.
結構可愛らしい雰囲気のゲームですね。
I always like saying
内容はかな
saxophones in
り
the
かな
chat.
りというか
This
結
is
構
part
ダ
of
ー
the
クな
run.
感じはするん
Play
ですけど。
along with Mom.
Yeah, if any aspiring sax players want to learn this and just like follow a Death Store runner around, that would be super comforting to me.
I would love that. So Mom's horn playing has opened up the door to the next dungeon. But first, before we enter the
有識
dungeon,
者の方は
I'm gonna
チャ
grab
ット
another
にいらっしゃっ
strength upgrade.
てくださったんですね。ありがとうございます。
Yeah, this is an important one, and it's one of the ones that's easier to forget.
引き続きどなたかゲームわかるよって方もしいましたら、
And
チャ
this
ット
could
で
be
も
important because
来
of
て
some
い
of
た
the
だけるでも
enemies we're going to be fighting
ど
in
ち
this
らで
new
も
area.
大
There's
丈
a
夫ですの
very
で、
powerful
何か
one
情報をいただ
that
け
we'll
る
be
と
introducing
大変
soon.
助かります。
Yeah, each of these dungeons has kind of a signature hard enemy. In the manor, we saw the Lickitungs. In the Mushroom Dungeon, which is what that text at the bottom right says right now, we meet spiders, not the hard enemy, but quite annoying because they have RNG dodges. But we will also, once I roll into this next room, be meeting Hammer Bros. Wait, is there a Hammer?
Not quite yet.
There's not one.
But
Not
we
quite
also
yet.
did meet an NPC just there in the wall called the Frog King. That's not his full name. We'll get to that later. But much like Grandma in the previous dungeon, that's the giant soul we are here for, and also the NPC that's going to be following us around, or following you around if you play casually. But yeah, none of the creepy crawly enemies in dungeon are very fun. There's the spiders with RNG dodges, and those smaller spiders, I guess, that hide under the ground when you approach them, so you have to use projectiles to deal with them.
Spiders.
And so now that we finished this, we're going to be doing a couple different little, ideally, skips in this next area. First is this geometry little spot where we roll over the edge. Remember here, if we get this, we're going to try to get this. Normally you're supposed to hit the bomb flower,
Nice.
break the middle wall, and then shoot the fireball across. But we're able to actually skip that if you just go fast enough. It's a very tight window though. And now we're onto the arena with Hammer Bros. Hammer Bros are a tricky enemy. They have a shield, they deal a lot of damage. Well, I guess they deal 1 damage, but they have a big area of attack.
That was a dodgy spider.
Just gotta keep you on your toes. But yeah, Hammer Bros is probably the biggest gulf in terms of enjoyability between my first playthrough and speedrunning the game, because casually, they are a menace. Large and fast attacks, and a shield, and a huge upswing in health. Fortunately, with some careful choreography and a pattern of baiting out their attacks and weaving in slashes where possible, Hammer Bros wind up being on par, a little less frustrating than the spiders that can just say no thank you and choose to ruin your day.
Some more rolling over fun terrain. And yeah, we're just going from arena to arena right now.
Is now a good time for some donations?
Sure is.
Great. We've got a $25 donation from Happy by 3. Happy says, "Good luck, Bird Game Thistle. During one of the worst times of my life, the Death Door community helped me fall back in love with speedrunning. And Thistle, Allison, and Quack have all done more than they know to make me feel invited and cared for in the community. Thank you all so much for being the most kind and welcoming people in speedrunning. I love y'all and I love this game. P.S. Please thistle skip, even if it's not optimal. Okay, thanks. Less than 3.
I didn't grab dungeon doors, so unfortunately I can't, Happy.
We still love you, though.
Yeah, thank you. For those wondering, Thistle Skip is a death warp that I discovered because I was bad at this upcoming arena.
We also have a $500 donation from Thundar that says, Burb.
Thunder.
True, not wrong. In fact, Bird.
True.
Got time for more?
Probably one more.
Okay. We got a $25 donation from Patra. It says, "Let's go, Thistle. Theo and I are rooting for you."
So that is pool party strats.
Hey.
Where we, bait one of the Hammer Bros into just walking into the water. We don't know why it works that way, but it does.
Yeah, the Hammer Bros AI in this room can be very easily convinced to have a moment, but this arena in particular, this wave with the triple Hammer Bros, who we didn't mention earlier, have projectiles for when you're far away from them. Bane of my existence casually and for a long, long time as a runner as well. This is a major difficulty spike for sure, but of course, no trouble for Thistle, including a swag dunk there.
Oh yeah, so this,
こちらのゲームは2021年の7月に発売されたゲームということで、だいたい2年は経ってないかなっていう感じですかね。割と最近と言ってもいいかもしれないですね。
upgrade after Avarice 2 spoilers. I believe I do.
And we'll say PC there because we could always use that just in case. But we also get a free heal every time we go through a door to the hub world area.
And so once again, pay attention very closely to the crow's animations here. Notice how they are different from before. It's my favorite little Easter egg in the game.
Yes.
Because he knows.
We know.
He's learned fear.
That. Ooh. Yep. Not again.
But of course, in true Zelda fashion, got another ability on the line, gotta go through another Avarice. And in this Avarice, unlike in Avarice's prior, we're going to actually see enemies that the speedrun has not yet encountered, starting with these two little sludge friends here. That is because, like we mentioned earlier in the run, the game sort of soft expects you to beat an area in totality.
他の言語でもすごい大きく出てるんだと思うんですけど。
Whereas because we are just touring all of the Avarices quickly, we are seeing some enemies.
フォントが普通すぎてなんか日本語だとちょっとレイアウト間違えちゃったのかなみたいになってますね。このミミック君に食べられた後、絶対なんかこのアバリスってでっかいカタカナが画面の半分ぐらいを支配してるのがちょっと面白い。世界観みたいになっちゃいますね。
So once again, we're going to go through a cutscene to pick up the bomb spell and then walk back through the hub world to move on to the next area. So we have time for a couple more donations.
Of course. We have a $20 donation from April. It says, "Let's go, Thistle. Super exciting to see you at a GDQ. Can't wait for the 4-minute PB." We also have a $15 donation from Mom6226. "Let's go and break a record today." We have a $20 donation from Scout. It says, "Crows, it turns out, are not water birds. That's why we need an umbrella to keep them dry." And real quick, I would like to let everybody know we are less than $500 away from $120,000 raised from Malala Fund, which is amazing.
初めの方このゲーム見れてないんですけど、カラスってことなので、なんか飛べるのかなと思ってたんですけど、普通になんかリンクみたいな前転をめっちゃやってますね。
So go ahead and keep donating.
Let's go. Thank you, everyone,
Yay,
so
that's
much.
awesome.
Also,
Yeah, thank you.
Cutting it a little close there, you saw Thistle's soul count at the end in the bottom right was 1,001 of the 1,000 we need to grab another strength upgrade here.
Yep.
Perfect,
One
immaculate
soul
soul
left.
routing. You love to see it.
And that's with earlier when we baited the one hammer bro into dunking in water, which we called pool party strats. You do not get soul for that kill. I wanted to demonstrate it because it's fun, but we definitely had to grab a little bit of extra soul on the way there to do that. And now we're headed to the third and final major region of this game.
Yeah, so this is going to, well, it's not 5 towers yet.
Yeah, we're going to meet, unlike some of the areas before where the NPC that we have met is nefarious and or evil, we're going to meet an NPC in just a little bit as we move through these cave areas to the next major biome. An NPC whose name is Barb, who is not only friendly and a musician, two of my favorite things, but is also
単純にステージクリア型っていう感じではないんですかね。
Brad, who has changed for the final game. Trans rights, friends.
I love that. Trans rights.
This is also...
go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
日本語だ
Yeah, so
と
here we're about to do a
そ
little
の
skip.
マップ
where
名
we're
っていうん
going
です
to
か
try
ね。
to
あ、
shoot
わ
the
かんな
spawn
いな。
here so we can make Barb not have dialogue. It literally skips one text box if we do it early,
Yep.
but it's worth.
One text box. Hey, all time save is good time save.
And what, the auto text skipper mashes at like, what, 13 mashes per second? So we save,
Something like that.
someone better than me can do the math there. It's a lot of time. This is also where we have to peel back the curtain and say, thank you everyone so much who donated for the language bid war. The language difference is entirely negligible in this video game. It is just for style points. So everyone who donated for Japanese, we see you, we appreciate you, and hope you are receiving those style points.
Yeah, the number of text boxes is exactly the same across all languages except simplified Chinese. Oh, darn. So what I just tried to do here is something called diagram strats, named because they were first theory crafted using amazing MS Paint diagrams drawn over screenshots of this room, which detail where to stand, where to shoot arrows. And unfortunately did not get it, but we were able to back it up really quickly and enter the first arena for the first crow in this new area of the map.
Yeah, the big enemy that's shown in this arena is Albird, spelled Albird. And it's a nice little enemy that's going to be similar to the Hammer Bros in the other area. We're going to see him in a few different spots. But we'll show up in about half of the Crow Soul Arena. So.
Missed the interact.
Happens.
There we go.
Just want to briefly revisit diagram strats for a moment, because I don't think we've properly sold you on the majesty of MS Paint multicolored arrows. There are a number of very artistically talented people in the Death's Door community. Shoutouts to the Death's Door Flower Spirit Crochet Prize that is, I think, open now. Someone will check me on that. But MS Paint diagrams for speedrunners are functional.
I will say that prize is up right now. And I believe that is oh, I just saw it. Where did it go? Let's see. Death Store for Spirit Crochet is $20. So if you would like to donate for that, go ahead and donate.
Yeah.
So we make a quick detour here to light a brazier. That's for the second part of this dungeon. We'll revisit it later. But since it was along the way, we decided to go and light... Oh, all right.
And this is Enrina for showing off the bomb. Again, there's a magic stat that somewhat complicates things, and the game internally does use decimals, but the good rule of thumb is that your bomb does 3 times the damage of an arrow or fireball. So using bomb strats both to deal with some of the pesky mages floating out of reach, as well as... Okay, we're good. As well as using it to knock the shield off of that golden hammer bro.
Yeah, bombs have twice the charge time or some significantly longer charge time compared to a fireball or an arrow. So I'm always impatient and will miss fully charging it up sometimes. But we made it. We're about to save and quit. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, should be fine. The urge to plant in that flower pot is always very, very strong, but literally after flipping this lever, we save and quit and get the health back, so it's fine. Never any worry.
This region specifically has quite a few cronks that we do.
True. Here we're going to head into the second set of diagram strats. Oh, okay.
Oh no.
We'll go around.
Unfortunately, the backup here is the walls are solid to the protagonist, but significantly less so to our spells, and so you can shoot that other lever through the wall.
Walls are a suggestion. This is true.
Very true.
Cool. We'll see even more of that later after we get the next spell. And here is the last arena for this.
Penultimate.
Oh yeah, there's one more.
The third.
Also, shoutouts to this backpack who just shows up from the middle of nowhere. Haven't seen a backpack in a minute or two. Just like reminding you that that enemy type is in the game.
Also, the spiders coming back too. This is a very strange like combination of enemies in this arena.
Yeah. This Lord of Doors statue right here is named Theodore. Is it not?
I believe that is the canon name, yes.
Yes.
Just in case you thought only the runners in the community were serving up pun after pun after pun.
Real quick, I would like to thank all our donators. We have hit $120,000. Thank you for all your donations.
Nice.
Congrats.
All right, we're going to do a save and quit here, but first we have to make sure the key icon shows up so that we've properly collected it. We're heading to our fourth and final arena.
Yep, and another strategic bomb deploy here at the start. A lot of enemies have, a lot of garden variety enemies in this game have 3 or less health, so it is good to be able to pick off a couple annoying ones right at the start of waves.
Halberds they're quite tough. They're just like the Hammer Bros and a casual playthrough. I think those ended so many, not runs, but they killed me a lot. Once you get the pattern down for a speed run, it's generally not too bad, but they are still kind of spooky. All right. Now we will head to the third and final Avarice and collect our last spell, which, in my opinion, is the best spell. I'll let y'all guess what it's gonna be.
And once again, for the final time this run, I invite you to pay attention to our crow's education vis-a-vis these mysterious treasure chests.
ための方が威力が高いのかな。あ、これはもしかして。
Oh yeah, we're ready this time.
デカデカアバロン。
All right, and we're gonna dive right on in.
Much
Avalon
like
じゃない、アバ
with
リス。
Ava 2, in Ava 3, there are going to be a couple of enemies that we have nominally not seen before, including some very special ones like this.
エフェクトもなく、ただバンって出てくるので。
Shoots out a wall of fire that is very obnoxious to deal with and manage other enemies with while that mage is teleporting. So that first wave is very pivotal.
And here in wave 2, we're getting these boomers, which are
ここのインパクトが大きすぎて、
like to jump. And jumping
なんかゲームの内容があんま入ってこないっていうところがあるんですけど。
They are very
It's
difficult
very
to
hard to
dodge.
tell where they're going to jump to. Oh. And this we call a smo. Normally, they would rotate around to hit you, but if you hug their left hip, they kind of don't and just keep using their mace on the ground in front of them.
Yeah.
And we can dispatch them very quickly.
Quirks of having a one-handed weapon. But once again, we're going to grab our final spell here, so this is another great time for some donations.
Of course. We have so many donations coming in with love for Thistle. We have a $25 donation. This'll do more like Thistle don't make any mistakes on the speed run from Eve the Veg. We have a $20 donation from Colin that says, let's go Thistle, best of
デ
luck.
スルーラか。
We have a $50 donation
ここは
from
デスなんだ。
Morbid that says, now a question might be lingering in your mind. Can crows swim? Swim. The answer is no. Crows cannot swim because they're not water birds. They don't even have web feet like those of ducks to help them stay on the water. Due to the clunky body and long neck, swimming is troublesome for crows.
Ah, yes, the water bird copy pasta.
なんかああいう風にやっぱ英語でバンって出てくるとなんかちょっとかっこいいなって感じますけど、
They say I had to donate for my
それをそのまま多分日本語にしちゃったんでしょうね。アバリスも。
We have a $20 donation from the Dancing Grad. They say, let's go Thistle, we know you can do
英語版ってか他の原稿のバージョンもちょっとあそこ見てみたいですね。
Thank you all
Thank you so much, friends.
Got time for more?
Maybe a couple more. I do want to say we are now showing off the new movement ability. It is a hook shot. And we are currently just going through the rest of Castle Lockstone, lighting up these torches in order to summon a elevator in the central area. But yeah, we've got time for donations while I run through the rest of this area.
All right, then really quick, the Super Metroid incentive is still open. Right now we have raised $1,654 out of $5,000, and we need to meet that before the start of the run, so go ahead, keep donating. And we have $17,000 until we beat our PB, and wouldn't it be nice to help us PB? Wouldn't that be a nice collaborative effort? So keep donating. We have a $150 donation from Garn the Dex. What a delightfully frosty week this has been. Thank you to all the runners and the GD
カラスくん
for
が
putting
死
together a
神みた
wonderful
いですね。
showcase of games and good vibes.
なんかさっきのミミックのところでフックショットをゲットできたんですかね。読める英語なので速読すればかろうじて何が起こっているかわかるかもしれないですね。
And then, of course, the hook shots in the next section are also showing that walls are a suggestion, and we can just hook shot through them as much as we want.
True. All right. So this here will be the fourth.
カラスなんだから飛べばよくない？
I always forget that this room exists.
っていうのは多分
This game a lot.
言ってはいけない
Now is
のか
the
な。
fourth and final torch that we light. And because we save and quit here, we get to watch a static cutscene instead of the actual summoning of this elevator. We just get to sit here for 13 seconds and watch the elevator before we can enter.
Yeah, you're supposed to see it like actually spawn in, but because it's already loaded before the save quit, we just watch Barb staring at a fully functional elevator for a second.
I mean, elevators are a modern marvel.
It's true.
True.
It's not like this game is full of birds. Anyway, with that, we are progressing to our first tier 2 dungeon. Like Thistle mentioned, well, first, shout outs to our friend Arm Day there. Hopefully, this puts Leg Day into further context from way back when. But this will be moving into our first tier 2 dungeon. Like Thistle said, we're doing the tier 2 dungeons and the bosses in the sort of reverse order. So we were going to do Watchtowers, which is the Castle Lockstone dungeon first. At the back of each of these is going to be a boss. And the bosses will, weirdly enough, also map into increasing health, because despite being the nominally third boss, the first boss we're going to fight here actually still has the lowest health. That's the major reason why the speedrun is routed like this, because it means we can get all of the strength upgrades we need to scale with the bosses.
Yeah, another thing you may have noticed is that unlike the first two areas where we saw the Frog King and we saw Grandma, we have not seen the boss of this area yet. They haven't shown up in any of the cutscenes or any sections. And I think that's just supposed to add extra suspense here. If you check the lore, there will be a little bit of hints, but we're gonna introduce you to her shortly, at the end of this area.
Yeah, and also...
Yeah, I think Barb does make some references to her as kind of like the princess at the top of the mountain or something like that. But
so get
we
your
don't
guesses
actually
in now.
physically see her. Yeah. Oh, okay. That, you know what? I'm gonna safety save and quit, because this area, so the second half of each of these dungeon areas become fairly enemy dense. There's a lot of movement through here. It's very easy to take damage. Since I had just taken that door, it's much safer to go into it with full health.
This is also where the soundtrack, which is already, in my opinion, one of the biggest bangers of the modern age, truly comes into its own. These tier 3 dungeons are 3 of my favorite pieces of video game music, full stop. So Watchtowers is a phenomenal opener to the wonderful dungeon soundtrack by David Fenn.
BGM ね。
Yep. Then I will be mostly focusing during the run through in this area. This is a laser arena. We not only have to fight enemies as normal, there is a laser tracking us. It does damage. Like this, it does damage to our enemies as well. So we make use of it.
Yeah, and you'll also notice that the hook shot stuns enemies that you are grappling to, which is incredibly useful for repositioning in fights.
And of course, we got some boomers over here messing with us, as they always do.
Yeah, if anyone can tell me how to accurately tell where they're about to land, I would like to know.
This is another major asymmetry skip, I suppose. By getting up onto that ledge and careful deploy of the hook shot, you can actually just barely grapple the top of that platform and skip having to go around and open the lever, and it saves probably a couple tens of seconds of movement.
Yeah, it saves you from having to go around. At this point, I've done it so often, I don't even know how to go around properly.
That is the speedrunner way.
And every game isn't complete until it has ice physics. So we are gonna slip and slide our way through the rest of this area, culminating in, you guessed it, an arena with ice on the floor.
Which is considered probably the hardest non-Avarice arena in the game.
Honestly, it's a solid contender for hardest arena, including some of the Avarices. Ice physics are brutal, but we have to run the gamut of Zelda inspirations here, and that includes the ones that speedrunners do not always love.
I'm debating, do I heal here? Well, let's heal.
You got the seeds.
All right, and this is the ice arena. This area is pretty tricky because, of course, we're flipping and sliding around while we're also trying to deal with a bunch of grunts the first part of the wave. The first wave of this arena. We did bring an extra enemy over here, so that's gonna be a bit tricky. For some reason, you can get through wave 2 and wave 3. Both don't require defeating everybody, just all but one.
確かにめちゃくちゃ滑ってますね。
I don't understand why, but it's not too
でも
difficult.
敵も滑ってますよね。
And you notice
It's
here
also-
most
可愛い
of all also that
ツルツルの上で
the
頑張って
ice
戦っている
physics, which is
感
mostly a
じ
problem for the
なん
grunts
で
who
しょう
like run at you and swipe, but they skid a little bit while they do, so you can get some unfortunate attack patterns.
Yeah, this is also, I think, one of the few arenas that don't have 4 phases. This one actually has a 5th phase, which makes it a bit longer as well. But we beat
Ooh,
the
early
Hammer Bros.
control? Nope. Just missed the ladder by a little bit. If you roll to the right spot, you can get early control and start climbing up that ladder immediately after the arena.
And with that, we're on to our first boss. The bosses all come with a very swanky title card that will scale in difficulty. We're going to start out very easily. This is Betty. That's what that says. That's just Betty.
Betty the Yeti.
ベティ彼がベティですか？
For this boss, we're gonna mostly do a few things. There's a safe spot under her, so we're going to do a combination of a heavy attack when she jumps. Then we're gonna try to do a roll heavy
Oh,
to
no.
use iframes to not get hit.
死んじゃう。
Ooh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Ooh,
Open it
one
up.
of my
Pattern
heavy
desyncs,
stuff.
it can be
Yeah.
difficult to regain it on Betty. The fight is truly choreographed like a dance, and falling out of position can make it hard. Fortunately, there's a door right there, and the fight moves very quickly either way.
Oh, my abilities are sticking. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Alright, looks like we're back on the rotation. Ideally, we can get up damage in. Ideally,
Oh.
we'd be skipping this whole roll
Yeah.
phase.
It's okay, it's more time to hear the phenomenal Betty score.
True.
Oh no.
Overnight.
Okay, that's fine. This is
Betty
fine.
chain deaths happen to everybody. It's like,
Yeah.
さて、
For a
is-
while in the history of this game, there was a world record
3 度
with
目
an
の
F to
正
Betty
直
in
な
it,
るでしょうか。
both because Betty is brutal and also because the fight is quick to retry, fortunately.
あ
Yeah.
でもあるあるですよね。ノーマルの。頑張って。
Do you mind if I cut in with a quick donation?
go for it.
We
Go
have
for it. Yeah.
a $500
でこの
donation from
うん
Ryu.
転がる攻撃がなんかすごいモーションが速くて
Through it.
余計にくそうだな。
Okay.
Alright.
Yay.
There she
よ
is.
かった。
Yeah. I think we finally fixed the ability unsticking.
It was the
The
donation
fight-
that pushed us over the top, for sure. Thank you.
Exactly. The fight, when done well, looks very easy because you're sitting under her belly and rolling, but it is actually very precise timing of the rolls, so you iframe through her attacks. And there was, even a little bit of being a little bit off on the timing can cause that to happen. There we go.
1時間が過ぎまし
And,
た
with-
Have we
が、
explained? Oh, sorry. Have we
もう
explained
終盤に
fast
入
forward
ってい
though?
る
I
ん
just
でしょう
realized.
か。
We may not have. So consistently throughout doors in this run, the door has 2 parts to it. The actual wall of the door, or door of the door, I guess, that opens and shuts, and then the
扉の
portal, and you just have to be
なるほどね。
overlapping the portal in order to actually transition. So in every scenario where you get spit out of a door, it starts open. So if you just walk right back to where the portal is, you'll automatically load back in. You can also use a heavy slash to sort of force the protagonist to overlap with the portal, which skips the cutscene of the door opening and you walking through. But this is the Lord of Doors, who is the world's best lord, and we'll also be seeing him later.
Yeah, he's technically our boss. And he's not very happy with the fact that we just defeated Betty.
What do you mean? He just gave us claps.
True.
Surely that ominous
Nani?
camera pan
Yomenai
next
yo.
door won't mean anything.
読めるはずなのに読めないよ。
Alright, so now we make it back over to the second half of Mushroom Dungeon after we gather a few little things here.
Yeah, Nice. And now at this point, all of our major antagonists have already graciously identified themselves to us. So we're going to get one more short cutscene here with the King of the Swamp. Again, not his full title. We'll get there. As he taunts us on our way into the Flooded Fortress.
Ah, yes, the Flooded Fortress. This next segment is going to appear very serene, very calm, very chill. But remember, crows do not know how to swim because they are not water birds. And so every one of these rolls is a little spooky, especially when we're trying to go fast.
I'm so glad we had that very helpful copy pasta from earlier to help our audience understand the nature of crows and water.
Yeah, thank you, Crow Morbid. Which is... The name itself is a pun. This community is full of puns.
Yeah, so mostly here we're just gonna be doing some rolls. So if there's like a couple donations, we probably have time for like 2 or 3.
Of course. We've got a $10 donation from Angry Gato. It says, "Thanks, gamers," and go Thistle go. We've got a $50 donation from Zokuban that says, "What a wonderful week of gaming. Thanks to everyone on camera and behind the scenes for making this event what it is. I'm excited to watch Frost Fatale soar to higher heights, so let's get that bonus game 5. And Zoku is, of course, talking about beating our PB. If we beat our PB of $137,000, before the end of Super Metroid, we will get a bonus game of Inscription. So keep donating. We also have that Super Metroid incentive we want to go ahead and meet. So that is currently sitting at $1,854 out of the $5,000 we need. So go ahead, type !donate and donate.
Skip did not want me to do it, so we're gonna go around and actually cronk the lever.
Yeah. Another cute little naming Easter egg. This NPC that we are about to encounter here at the start of this cutscene, his name is Red Shirt, and that's why he's named Red Shirt.
R.I.P.
And now the music really kicks in.
Love me some Flooded Fortress. Now we are sieging the Frog King's domain. Some might even call him the Guardian of the Flooded Fortress. Again, not his full title. But we're going to start off the assault on the Flooded Fortress with a fun little skip here to avoid going around the right path. We're instead going to aggro this boomer so that he jumps in and becomes a viable hookshot target.
Yeah, hookshot is great. We try to hookshot to as many enemies as we can. And Flooded Fortress is going to be, a lot of running, a lot of trying to hookshot away. Oh gosh, I'm being body blocked.
Blocks.
Don't you just hate to see it? Okay, I should probably, it's fine.
Now we got this, I believe.
Yeah, there is a pot we can plant later.
So yeah, now we're making our way through this precarious area for a skip that's actually replacing a different skip that we used to do that was RNG, where we would want to do a hook shot onto a mage after we shoot them with a fireball, but it was pretty inconsistent and was all RNG. But this little shot with the arrow is way easier, so it's only slightly slower, so that's what everyone goes for now.
And this is the final arena before our boss at the end of it here. A couple things to note is that once again we have an arena overrun with boomers whose jumping can make it very obnoxious, as well as enemies, notably a boomer or two that spawn in on the center platform. So you're going to see Thistle hookshot in and out of that center platform to pile on as much damage as possible before the boomers rejoin the main arena.
Yeah. Mostly for high DPS, but it also looks very swaggy, so we love it. And now, Actually, we're almost done with this arena, aren't we?
We are
Yes,
done.
and so I mentioned before how the boss titles scaled, and it's time that we finally introduce you to the boss of this dungeon. That would, of course, be King of the Swamp, Guardian of the Flooded Fortress, Lord of his domain, Ruler of all he surveys, Champion of the people, Keeper of the Five Oaths, First of his name, Second of his other name, He who is without middle initial or mercy, Destroyer of all those who would question his rightful rule or look at him askance, Eater of the vanquished, Devourer of the indolent, Guzzler of the non-committal, Bestower of the wrathful opprobrium, and the fount of most wondrous beneficence, all glory to him and his mace, Holy Basher of toads not frogs, but really what are toads anyway, like worse frogs, right? Uglier too, smartest creature in all the land, really clever like that Einstein guy, and okay, hit the word count.
ボ
If
スっ
there are
ぽい
any
ですね。
Japanese speakers in the audience, you can check me on that here.
Masterfully
That is
done by
なんかいっぱいある。
We got it.
And yes, that
文
was
字数。
very impressive.
All right, so now we need to smack him on the butt a couple times.
肩書きが多すぎて省略されちゃったようですね。
Normally we look at the echoing that they're doing and stuff and tries to destroy a bunch of platforms to make it tricky on us, but we're able to just hit him a few times in the right spot, and it's super good. We're using some fireballs here, as they will hit twice based on the hitbox of the Frog King. And now we're gonna gather some more soul and feed him a delicious bomb. Everyone knows bombs are the tastiest treats. And now, just gonna keep getting swings in with heavy, soft, or light attack rotation. And now we're on to the second side. We're actually gonna try to balance on this edge. Frog King is going to be shooting things to try to knock away all those platforms. And perfect.
Caught my breath in time to say GG, that's our second giant soul.
One
Went a
thing is,
lot more smoothly than Betty. Yay.
and they did have the foresight
もしかしたらちゃんとこのストーリーを見ながらやってれば、あのボス、ああいうキャラなんだっていうのがあるのかもしれないですね。
So now we're making our way to the final area.
Yep, we will collect our final strength upgrade right here. Just before the last final boss fight, because as mentioned before, Grandma does have the most health of the three
そろ
giant
そろ
souls.
最後っぽいかな。
And the other thing we actually grabbed there was a dexterity upgrade,
Yep,
which makes it so we just get a little bit faster on our attacks. It'll be useful for some future things. We had the extra soul, so we need to use it somewhere, so.
Yep, and starting off with a fun little isometry skip here to get into the inner furnace. The
このゲームジャンプはできないん
section of
で
this
す
that
ね
we're。going to see in a little bit is probably my nomination for my favorite song in the game. It's really close. This soundtrack is just too good. But we already know that this is a great swag strat as well, hookshotting to the bull cart in motion.
なる
It's a
ほ
shame
ど。
because normally we don't have hookshot here. Like the intended way would be that you just go through with fireball. But the hookshot movement here is some of the most satisfying movement in the game. And it's really sad that we don't get a chance to use it more outside of the speedrun.
yeah, hookshotting through here it's so fun. It's such a treat. And we see Grandma one more time. I'm gonna light this furnace next to her so that she talks to us while the cutscene of the furnace opening happens behind her.
Oh no!
By the way,
Grandma
she
was
kidnapped.
evil.
Yeah, she kidnapped Pothead. We gotta go save our friend.
今のが魔女かな。
The furnace, as mentioned before, really, really great music here. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that the pistons also move in time to the beat.
It's so good.
It really just like makes it so much better.
It really does.
So, being the nominal first dungeon of the game here, you're going to see the puzzles revolve around fire, like that amazing, very diagonal shot and on that furnace, and the arenas are full of low-level enemies that we've seen in the first dungeon of the game. This is also where we see the Plague Doctor, that may have a better community name, I don't recall, that we first saw in ABBA 2, if I'm not mistaken, but this is where you're supposed to run into him.
I just call it Big Bird. I'm not really sure. if there's a proper name for the Plague Doctor enemy.
The big thing you're going to see here is you're going to see a lot of these sludge enemies. Slimes? I'm not sure what we call them either.
I've heard Grimer before to match Lickitung.
Yeah. Same.
Community names for it's great. It's great. In a game full of puns and references, the community has leaned into that, and it's beautiful.
Well, it's a big one there. For the most part, we'll just be running past all of them. Delay to furnace over here. And then avoid being pushed off by the pistons. I'm gonna wait this cycle out. And then hook shot to this pod over here to skip the last piston. For the most part through here, we're gonna try and find all of the angles to hook shot things that we can. Instead of going through and around these two platforms, we're gonna kind of go here, hook shot straight to the end, and then ignore all of the other enemies around us.
Yep. And this last room is a tight cycle where the pistons will block your attempts to light each successive furnace. It was a very good fast cycle there. That can be very punishing if you miss because there's no great way to get pips back. You have to go all the way back to the start of the room, but breezing past that. Let's go, Thistle.
And then this final room, see if we can hit the fast cycle on everything. Missed it there. Since everything is in tune to the beat, we essentially try to roll to it, try to get to the pistons as fast as possible. We did get the fast cycle in the second half of the room. And then this last full cart will take us into the grandma fight.
Yeah. And I have to confess, I lied earlier because the scaling here is such that this is the Witch of Urns, Grandma, which is so much easier to say. But yes, after Grandma insults us personally, she will fly down and start the fight, which involves her, surprise, surprise, throwing a ton of pots at us. A combination of the pots we have seen throughout the estate.
なんか壺の魔女って出て、あ、今回控えめだなと思ったら二段構えだった。
Pots will actually deal damage to her immediately, and any of the ones that drop the green projectile should be right in front, so you could ideally smack it right back at her or hit her at her.
グロンマってそのままですね、結構。
We got enough damage that this should be. Oh.
If I can hit her.
It's
Please
just
stop
like the
hopping.
spiders.
これは
Hoppy enemies today.
There it is.
終わった。
And Grandma is
That is-
defeated.
Yep, our third and last giant soul has been collected.
あら。なんか、ちょくちょく止まってましたからね、奏者さんのワイプと画面が。やっぱ調子が悪かったのかな。
Hi, everybody. Well, we sort that out. We have a few donations I would love to read. We have a $15 donation from Kite Rider. It says, putting my last donation toward watching the Super Metroid cutscene. It's my favorite game, and I really enjoy the cutscene, even though it's not a part of the speedrun traditionally. Thanks for running this great event, as always. And that, of course, is going towards our Super Metroid.
ちょっと画面の調子が悪いようで、
Right now, we are just
一時
short of $2,000 raised
回
on
避み
that.
たいな感じですかね。
And if we hit $5,000 raised before the start of the
無事
run,
戻っ
our
て
runner
来てくださる
will
といいんで
watch
す
the
が。
cutscene. We'll actually get to see a cutscene in a speedrunning marathon. I know Fant is looking forward to that, so go ahead and donate. We are Frost Fatales 2023, benefiting Malala Fund. So all of your donations are going towards a great cause, benefiting women's education and women empowerment. So go ahead, click !donate in the chat. We also have a lot of love coming in for this run. We have Bird with a Sword, who donates $25, and they say, I'm always busier whenever Frame Fatales happens, but I'm so glad I could catch this nice run of a game I love. Also, the protag is adorable. We have a $50 donation from Clomp Champ. They said, amplifying trans rights and sending love to everyone. Thistlebird is looking good, clean. Let's go. I would also like to shout out some of the prizes. I know everybody is donating for Malala Fund and it's a great cause, but you know, if you donate $25, you're entered to win any of the prizes up today. And then if you have donated $125 over the course of the marathon, you are also entered to win the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch game bundle that is cumulative over the course of the marathon. So go ahead, keep donating. I know everybody, I've donated a few times. I'm probably close to that. You could probably donate 25 today, the last day of the marathon, and get yourself in for that. Also, I know we've seen so many great runs all week, and I know it's sad we're getting close to the end of the marathon. That's always emotional, but we still have more to go. Right now we're in the middle of Thistle Do's Death's Door any %, but up next we have 2 Katana Zero runs. We have a hard mode by Modulette, and then we have Katana Zero any % Taz by Bartoi. After that, coming up at about 7:30, we have Super Metroid, which that incentive is for. So keep your eye on the time if you want to donate, by Fant TV. And then, of course, the big thing that we are pushing for and we want to PB on is the bonus game, Inscription. I know I said PB, and how can a marathon PB? Well, you see, last year, Flame 2022, Flame Fatales, by the way, we raised $137,000 for Malala Fund. And if we beat that record, we will unlock a bonus game, and that needs to happen by the end of Super Metroid. Right now, we're about, a little under $17,000 away. I know we're running out of time to get there, so keep donating. I would also like to thank all of our donators today. We've got so many donations in and just so much love for the marathon and the charity. And sometimes you run out of things to say, and that's fine. I'd like to thank Anonymous for their $20 donation. I would like to thank Nazara for their $25 donation. I would like to thank David for their $50 donation. And I would like to thank Anonymous for their $100 donation. We also have a $15 donation from Steven with no comment. So much love coming in for the marathon, even if you have nothing to say. That is fine. Just go ahead and donate, and make sure when you donate, you put all of your donations towards that Metroid opening cutscene incentive. We want to see that met, and we want to see it met soon. I'm sure we could hit that before the end of Katana Zero. We also have a $50 donation from Nolan. Thank you, Nolan. And I've just heard that our tech issues are resolved, so whenever you are ready, this'll do. Take it away.
Hello and welcome back. Sorry about the issues, y'all. We are, after collecting all 3 of our giant souls, headed back to the Grey Crow, who we met at the very start of this run, to, I guess, present the 3 giant souls and hopefully open up Death's Door. So we're just running back. He'll be waiting right here. Grey Crow did not help or do anything this entire run.
He's old.
Yeah, had us do all the work.
And this is clearly the end. There's nothing else that's going to have to happen now.
It's called Death's Door. What more could you want?
Yeah, the goal was to open Death's Door. We're opening it right now.
赤い玉が魂なんですかね。
Sounds like it. I don't think anything else can happen.
なるほど。
Well, I guess we might as well check out what's behind it.
Sounds like a good plan.
Oh, it's pretty bright in here. Huh. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, it's Death.
Hi, Death.
What a friend. Look at that fanny pack.
The little wave gets me every time. Shout
The
outs
little
to
finger
Death.
ones. Yeah. And I love
死
the
神
title
死神っぽいなって言おうとしたら
how it essentially mirrors
死
the
神っ
death
て出てきた
screen, which we saw a couple of times during this run. But instead of it being death for us, it's announcing Death's presence. Death is giving us some lore here, which we are going to speed right on through. If you would like to know more about the lore in this game, play it. It's fun. It's
It's
great.
very good,
こ
very
れ
well
さっき
written
見た
game.
人です
You
ね
should
人
give it
人じゃない
a shot.
かもしれないけど
But in effect, the
彼は
Grey
死神なん
Crow
です
was
ね
revealed to have been effectively the
なん
secret
か画面が怪しいですねまた
by the same mechanics that made our 3 major
大丈夫か
bosses
な
those bosses. So now, of course, we are tasked with dispatching
頑張っ
them.
て
Death decides not to help
画
us
面
in
が
this fight.
止まって見えるぞ
Yeah. Gives us a wave, bids us good luck. And then this fight really highlights.
はいということで今しばらくお待ちください頑張って奏者さんのパソコン
Hi.
ボッセン
everybody.
ボッセン
We've still got some tech issues. It's all right. We're gonna get Faith out of the tech room. Don't worry.
死神くんがどうなった
While
の
we wait, I do have some more donations.
わかんなかっ
This
た
one
な
came in a little bit ago, and I didn't get a chance to read it, so I'd be glad to do so now. It says, $25 from Holly. I'm so sad that this is the last day. It's been an amazing week with so many great runs. Thank you to the runners, commentators, hosts, and all the volunteers that make this event work. And an extra thank you to the entire Flame Fatales Discord for being an amazing community. I would also like to remind everybody that this event is benefiting Malala Fund. Malala Fund is working for a world where every girl can learn and lead. Traditional approaches aren't cutting it, and at this moment, nearly 130 million girls are out of school. Even more are in school but not learning. That's why Malala Fund is focused on accelerating progress, challenging systems, policies, and
そろそろ
practices
終
so
わ
all
り
girls
そう
can
ですから
access
ね
12 years
な
of
んとか
free,
最後まで
safe,
走り
quality
切っ
education.
てほしいなと
Inspired by
いうとこ
Malala
ろ
and Sudan's
なんです
activist
けれど
roots,
も
Malala Funds believe that local educators and
どうなるか。
advocates provide the greatest insight, innovation, and energy needed to address barriers that keep girls out of school in their communities. Through the Education Champion Network, Malala Fund invests in their work so they can scale their efforts and leverage their collective power to create broader change to make it easier for all girls to learn. Also, I would like to shout out one of our partners, GDQ Hotfix. The GDQ Hotfix shows off communities in speedrunning that are sometimes overlooked during marathons and elevates speedrunners year-round. We have shows for all interests, including ones that can help you find new games, teach you how to speedrun, and shows focused on more niche parts of speedrunning, such as randomizers. We also have special events. For more information, go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. Also, be sure to tune in to some of their shows, including Legally Cute and It's Dangerous to Go Alone. I know we've talked a lot about donations. I'd also like to shout out the Yeti, one of our sponsors. The Yeti is one of our official sponsors for Frost Fatales 2023. They create amazing merch, apparel, and vinyl for video games and pop culture. And for this event, a portion of the purchase price for all items in the Frost Fatales collections will be donated directly to Malala Fund. You can find out more at www.theyeti.com. Now, chat, if you haven't looked at the Frost Fatales 2023 collection, I suggest that you do so now. The Frost Fatales 2023 collection includes a shirt with our mascot, Faith, and ice cream. Who could not want that? It's so cute. I'm sure you've seen the ice cream cart during our prize segments. Don't be afraid to go check that out. I promise the Yeti and Faith don't bite. I would also like to give everybody a big thank you. We are making progress on that Super Metroid Watch opening cutscene incentive. We are sitting at $2,354 out of $5,000. We need to hit that after our second run of Katana Zero, so keep donating. We want to see that. I want to see the opening. I think every time I've seen Super Metroid, it's been through speedrun marathons, so I don't think I've actually seen the opening cutscene yet. And chat, I know this is the last day and it's such sweet sorrow to part, but there's still a few runs left in the marathon. What are you guys looking forward to? I know there's no options to name anything Bingus, and I'm a little upset about that, but that's all right. I see a lot of excitement in chat over ice cream. I will say the Frame Fatales Discord, which is the community that puts on this event every year, was very excited by the prospect of Frost Fatales ice cream, and we were very disappointed to learn that it does not exist. All right, everybody, we've got a word from our charity. We'll be right back.
First came to the United States, I spoke zero English. I started with ABC and number 1, 2, 3. I had to start from zero.
We talk about girls' issues. We talk about what needs to be done for girls and their education and their empowerment.
Hi everyone. أنا اسمي هدير.
CM を挟んでるって感じですかね。
This is a video series in which girls from countries around the world are sharing their stories and telling what matters to them. This is Roll Call.
I grew up in a small village in northern Iraq called Sureshka. Since I was one of the minority religions in Iraq known as Yazidis, I was the main target for ISIS. At a very young age, I witnessed Yazidis
そうですかね。
in front of me. We were
奏者さん戻られるのに時間がかかっているのかな。戻ってきてくださることを祈りましょう。ね、もう少しでっていうところだった感じはしますね。
Graduation, the girl gave a speech and I sat there and I said, one day I will speak there. my own cousin. He was like, yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. I'm a freshman, but I live off campus. This is my apartment. Coming here, I wanted to be more involved. I wanted to do everything. I didn't want anything, my gender, nothing stopping me from what I wanted to do. Like I remember going to one of the after-school programs, and I asked my teacher if this is only for boys, and she laughed at me. She said, "There's nothing here in America for boys." For me, it was not that easy transition. I remember going to school for the first few days and just sitting down and listening to teachers talking, and you're not able to understand.
حياتك صعب بداية ما إنجليزي نزاني ما نزاني بس يجي خبرش دابا أنا عم بكانين بس بكانين ما نزاني شي بيش ده.
My dad, he said that it's just not for you to learn the language, it's for your family as well. And that immediately increased my motivation, saying, oh, I will do this for my family. And that's where I got the motivation to learn 10 vocabularies every single day. And for a year and a half, I just focused on getting that language, on knowing the language. So when I first came to America, I remember the first day, the first person that I saw and I met and we became best friends for life was Masa. During the weekends, she comes down to my college and I come down to her college. And despite education, we just try to have the best time together. She plays guitar and she plays it for me every time. And she's trying to learn some Kurdish, right? Yeah, I'm trying. Right now, our families are like best friends and they hang out all the time together. Well, that's it. The first day of spring basically, and then we call it Nowruz. It's one of those holidays it's not a religion holiday. This is really special because it's the only holiday where everybody comes together and celebrates it. You're away from the country, but you're still proud of your heritage. And just to say it, Happy Nowruz to everyone. To me, freedom is just having rights just like anybody else. To go to school, you don't need freedom for that. It's my right. Me and Masa would always say if Americans have to study 1 hour, we have to do 2 hours. Like we have to do double, triple as them to get to the same place because we both wanted like not statue of being refugee, like not knowing the language, stop us from continuing our education, continuing and achieving our dreams. It's women like Malala and Amal Clooney and Nadia Murad who inspire me every single day to work hard enough and to improve my skills in many different ways. Just one day I can give that back to my community and I can give back to all these girls who have been facing so many things throughout their life. And it's my dream that one day, no girl should face what I had to face.
I hope that these stories would have inspired you and that you will share it with your friends as well. And please do not forget to subscribe to our channel.
Welcome back, everybody. That was a great word from our charity, and Thistle is back with Death's Door. Whenever you are ready, Thistle, take it away.
All right. So, we're on pause, I guess. We left off
よかった。
in this fight against the Grey Crow. We will be heavily utilizing Deflex to damage him. And yeah, we're just in the middle of fighting this Grey Crow. I will
なんとか。
kind of keep kiting him around.
The main mechanic of the Grey Crow fight being, of course, that every time he is struck, he
奏
spawns
者さんのパソコン頑張って。
beast things. Community
で
is very
さっ
happily
きムービーが
one final pawn on
止
our
まっ
behalf
て
to
しまっていて全然わかんなかったんですけど、
But,
このボスは
main our highest
なんかさっきのおじいちゃんカラスみたいな
so
や
that
つですかね。
multiple murderlings are not impacting Grey Crow all
なん
at
か
once
取り
on
つ
the
かれちゃっ
same
たみたいな
frame,
感じ
so
な
that
の
you
か
get
な。
successive deflect damage for all of them. It was a very clean fight. Thank you for bearing with us as we had that fight straddle some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
So
we're just
now
looking.
that
Okay.
Yeah, now that we've defeated Grey Crow, Death says we have one more thing left to do, and it's to go and defeat our boss, the Lord of Doors. But first, a word from Vaga, which is this crow, the leader of the Camp of the Free Crows. So these are the crows who are not employed as Reapers of Souls
黄色いやつ。
by the Lord of Doors.
黄色いやつ。ひ
We
よ
would
こか
like
な
us to defeat the Lord of Doors
ひ
as
ひよこって
well.
か、ひな
We're
みたい
going
な。
to sneak in one more, whoops,
なんだろう、かわいい。
one more extra upgrade before heading into that
頻繁
giant
に
door that just dropped,
タイトル画面に戻るんですね。
which will take us straight back to our boss.
なんか出入りをめっちゃしてる。
And that big spooky door is the one door in the game that you do not want to
これは
attempt
さ
the
っ
fast
き
door
の
because if you overshoot that fast
手を
door and
叩
you're
いてた
trapped behind it, you are stuck
なんか
there
王
and
様だっ
must
け
save and reload, which is a very funny way to lose a run. Ask me how I know.
あ、王様が敵なんだ。
We call the gauntlet.
なるほど。
It begins, well,
扉の
we will
王さん。
be
なる
running
ほど。
through a whole bunch of movement segments interspersed with arenas.
ドアなのか、牛なのか。
For 15
わかん
damage
ない。
each time.
Yeah, each one will end when there's a door, which leads to the next section, and it will go back and forth between if it's an arena or if it's a platforming / movement section. And this is the first one with the door bowls.
Adorables. It's great.
直接ダメージを与えるというよりは。
Yep. Oh, okay. That hook shot did not auto aim properly. There we go. So that's the end of the first movement section. And each of these arenas, you'll probably find kind of familiar. They throw you back to each of the 3 areas that we
い
visited
ろんなステー
during
ジ
this
に
game.
行ってますね。
And the Lord of Doors is going to learn different moves for each of these that'll be reminiscent of the bosses from each area.
First one, we don't
At
even
the
see
end-
it. Ideally, you skip the arena-specific attack with a very careful damage rotation. And then at the end there, just like with most of the doors in the game, the portal for Vidor spawns before Vidor actually drops in. So by moving to a very specific area at the end of each Lord of Doors phase, you can insta-door and advance right to the next Gauntlet phase. We'll see it again here after this Ruins fight.
Yep, so right here is where the door would drop, and we can skip the animation of that door dropping by standing there right as Lord of Doors snaps their fingers. I think they use they, them pronouns. Okay. So here we're heading to the 3rd arena. Getting that damage cycle is super important in this one. Cool. Because if we don't, Lord of Doors will do the Betty roll.
かなり長丁場ですね。今までの
And as we
ボス
enter
と
this
比べる
final
と。
gauntlet phase, I think I know the answer, but just to confirm with our host, will we be fighting Lord of Doors with an umbrella today?
You will. That incentive raised $1,500. Thank you all for your donations.
Okay, well, let's switch to it right now. Look how stylish this is.
朝、
What a dapper little
なんか
bird gentleman.
ビット王でラスボスを傘で倒すかみたいなのがあったけど、これラスボスですかもしかし
We
て。
will be staying dry today.
この扉の王さんがラスボスか。
Now we're entering the final fight. Time will be at the end of this fight.
In the meanwhile, we get to enjoy the simply beautiful umbrella hit sound effects.
And I guess, in case we are
最
running
後の
low on
扉の王。
time, if y'all want to do shout-outs or say anything while I'm
あ、ここって最初のってか、
feel free.
職場ですかね、ここって。うん。最後の扉の王ってよくわかんないですけどね。
Sure, I can jump in. I'll just say,
朝はこれは
we
なんか
heard
初期武器みたい
a number
な
of voices
や
of
つ
the
なん
Death
ですか
Door
ね。
community throughout the run today via some donations, and also I know a lot of y'all are in chat.
ファイナル扉の王。
One of the most phenomenal, most pun-laden, most mutually supportive communities I've had the privilege of being on the internet. Play this game, y'all. It's truly too good, casually and with speed.
yeah, the community Discord for the game also has a big speedrun section where we all hang out and cheer each other on and share our different strats and stuff. And it's a pretty popular speed game. It's definitely worth looking into and playing, or just playing casually if you want something that's between a Zelda-like, a Souls-like, and a Metroidvania. Fantastic game, fantastic community. Hope to see some of you there.
Real quick, I'm gonna read one last donation for this run. We got Mika donating $25. They say, Thistle, you are amazing, and it's so exciting to see you on this event. With an amazing game. Also with Quack and Allie on comms, this is going to be epic. Trans rights indeed.
Hey, and there it is.
Oh.
That's time.
Oh,
お疲れ様でした。グッドゲームです。ああ、よかった。無事完走できて。
Yeah, shout outs to the wonderful Death Star community, to my community, to Frame Fatales, to all the friends who
よかったよかった。
supported me along the way, encouraged me to do this run. Shout outs to my comms. Y'all are amazing. And yeah, play this game.
結構
It's great.
ビジュアル可愛いし、面白そうなゲーム。
Thank you for that amazing run, Thistle. We have a $100 donation from Lexer. It says, I've been waiting all week to see Thistle knock death doors out of the park.
一時はどうなることかと思いましたけ
And
ど、
good luck, Thistle. You're
無事
awesome.
完走できてよかったです。お疲
We
れ
are going
様
to
で
head
し
to
た。
a break really quick. We'll see you on the other side.
では、ここまでのタイトルはデスズドアカテゴリー Any%、ノーメジャーグリッチでした。次のゲームの準備してまいりますので、一旦失礼いたします。